He was just a different person. Like I said, she's pretty much become Little Nick. Like, that's just, April has always been, and my ex-wife was telling me this. She goes, April really tries to be who she thinks the people she's closest in proximity to want her to be. Like her and I, Vikings games, Las Vegas, all this stuff that I'm into. Mm-hmm. Like, she was like, yeah, that's my thing. Like bourbon. I introduced her to like different bourbons, and she's like, oh yeah, I really like bourbons and this and that. It's like, okay, it's fun. You're my, we go to Vikings games together. We go on vacation. We're trying to raise a family together. We're buddies and partners, and and all this stuff. Okay. All right, cool. But then I watched her get closer to someone else, and I watched her change again, and I went, oh, weird. This is like kind of what she did with me. They call it mirroring.
Okay.
And she's a big mirrorer. And she's never going to get better if she can.
That explains the whole problem. You can't have a giant mirror and not use it to just a few lines,
Oh, that's different kind of mirror, but
sorry.
So like now when you're around a narcissistic addict all the time, and you start doing the things that make them happy, well, having someone to do drugs with and binge drink with is what makes them happy. And also, there's like a weird daddy issue in there. I mean, I'm 8 years older. Nick's like 15 years older than she is. And it's just, there's like a daddy thing there. So she's got to, like, if she's ever going to live a real life, she's got to get the out of there. But she doesn't want to, and you can't make her. So at some point, you just got to cover it like a news story and go, well, best of luck. Gino and Keanu still want to be friends with April, but it doesn't seem like April really gives if they're friends anymore.
Okay.
Because I think Nick has kind of told her like, oh, these people, it's either they're on Aaron's side or they're on your side, where I've never asked anyone to do that. If anything, I've said, I hope April gets away from that. I hope she gets healthy, whatever, rebuilds her life.
Keanu in particular became friends with April just in and of itself. It had nothing to do with you and Gino being friends. Like that's just a friend thing there. So
I kept in touch with Gino and Keanu, and she didn't. And I'm sure that in the mind state that she's in, and with Nick in her ear, I'm sure she probably thinks, oh, well, they chose Aaron over me. Well, no, they didn't. I just talked to my friends. Your friends do appreciate it when you have problems and you go to them for counsel, for advice, and go, it's kind of that old saying, I my life up. My best thinking got me here. Do you have anything for me? Do you have any ideas? And they're more than happy to share them with you. It just sucks when someone's up their life flatter than hammered.
Yeah, I was thinking of the same quote.
And they think they're doing great. And they don't need anybody's advice. Except the person chopping up the... That's not usually the person you want to get the advice from, is the person chopping up the person going, oh no, it isn't even bad for you. No, oh no, it's totally fine. Actually, it can help your brain handle stress better. Yeah. Skeletor, you really seem like you're handling stress well.
Oh, man. I would love to be like, no, dude, it'll help your MS, your body.
You would. If you would have hung out with Nick, he probably would have pulled up some website that said, oh, there's a study out there that thinks MS can be helped by cocaine. So I would argue, and again, not my problem anymore, but I would argue that shacking up with the accused felon who, in my opinion, has substance abuse issues and is married with 5 children that he can't legally see right now, I would say that that's probably a bad character judgment. But again, I'm just the guy who still gets to be around his kids and has his life back. It was funny that Nick told Keanu, Aaron got cucked out of his life. Hey, Nick, you can't see your children. You can't show your face in public without people pointing and going, oh, that weirdo. And I'm hanging around my kids all the time. I have my house back, my life back, and I'm moving forward again. Who cucked who out of what?
Well, he does have an extra front hole now. So, I mean, wins and losses.
I mean, he had to get it loaded up with drugs first. I mean, no offense. Nick, I don't mean to brag at you, buddy, but I got the showroom model. You got the one that kind of got ran through a little bit. No, and you're the one who ran it through. I mean, you're the one who put all the chemicals in their body, and then that is a good way to get them if you can't be naturally charming and you're kind of a narcissist and a crazy person. I mean, if you can get them hooked on the same on. I mean, yeah. It is kind of a very Lester Diamond Ginger relationship in Casino. Oh my God, and Nick is about as frail and as skinny as James Woods was in that movie. Oh, does that mean I'm going to get in a car and it's going to start on fire?
That's entirely possible.
Uh-oh. That's no good. Well, anyway.
But that might be just because you fall asleep while you're driving.
That's true. Gino had some thoughts on the matter.
All right, what's Gino's thoughts?
Well, Gino gets fiery. And one thing I agree with Gino on is he says, you see it in the caption here of by the way, my lost interest on YouTube, follow him. He says, April, get away from all three. Accurate. Fair. April and I are poison for each other at this point. I mean, look at the choices we made when we were together. Deviant, awful, degenerate choices. Not good. Shouldn't be together. Once our relationship had to get to a certain depth, both of us were incapable of doing it. We really, once you figured out where your differences were and you each didn't really want to help the other one. Yeah. So get away from all three is great advice because first of all, let's just talk about what a bad look it is to shack up with a married man while his wife is in the house, allegedly. And how it kind of like you just look like you're the person who's charged with a felony and has a drug problem. You're their side piece. Like that's your identity now. You don't want that for your identity. And I kind of think you're better than that, but
I don't know, man.
You are your choices, you know?
She has an opportunity. Like I said, when this all went down, if you don't realize how this is going in a bad way, I don't know. What else do you need to do? Like you got arrested, but you got away with all of it in the sense that there weren't really any charges. You got the closest thing to a get out of jail free card that you can have. Like this is your moment because you don't get a reprieve on the second time. The second time around, people will be less understanding about, you're going through this.
If this guy shoves up your nose and then convinces you you're not hooked and then gets you arrested and gets his own kids taken away, which was supposed to be your career, was being a live-in nanny, and then those kids get taken away. Like this person has literally taken everything from you. Has cost this person... This person has cost you everything. And if you come out of that thinking it's my fault or my show's fault, then I'm sorry, you are the result of your choices. It's hard for me to now say she's better than that or she's better than this. If someone takes everything from you, like this person has, and you still think they're the greatest person on earth, then I'm sorry, your moral, let's use the line, your moral compass is so be a surprise if you get to the parking lot.
So let me get this straight. I don't mean to get caught up on this one point, but you mean once again, she's being paid to do a job she's not doing. For how long?
I did not. That was Johnny who said that. By the way, the VIP merch orders are on their way. You're welcome.
Thanks for the raise, by the way. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome anytime.